all the way to winning the Fufa drum, the biggest trophy in the land.
Okay, a very big one. A legendary Dudu Bosco, of course, he has done a lot in playing football. You've also seen him into the coaching world. He's doing a lot with very many clubs. KCCA, Onduparaka, of course, the current, of course, Calvary Football Club. Are you looking into, of course, the Arua Centros of those days? He will be telling you more about himself. But of course, it's a one-on-one with him today as we get to know what exactly he has to give us right there. Before I get more, I want to say congratulations to LP Shadi for being now a man. Of course, he had to get married and officially he had a nikah. So I want to say big ups to you for always keeping it right there. Of course, all in all, Dudu, let's start from here. 16 teams, 16 provinces. You look at after the 16, you have you were only, let's say, province that emerged, probably keeping a very big number of clean sheets, conceding only 3 goals. Yes, conceding 3 goals, and of course losing once in that. What exactly did you do? How did you come up with winning the drum? First time. This was your first time. Very many always confused because the other time you just came in as a caretaker. But this time around, what exactly did you do? How did it come out?
Of course, the summary is what you put it rightly. We played 8 games, winning 6, drawing 1, and losing 1. Actually, we did not lose because if you consider the final, it was home and away. What was considered was aggregate. We won 3-2. So I don't consider it a loss. Because if we had lost, we would have lost the trophy. But basically, it has been teamwork throughout. The appointing authority, who are the Westnile Regional Football Association, of course, appointed me as the head coach, Sizo Okuti, my assistant, Ramadan Okuni as the goalkeeping coach, and then we had Nega Abraham from Zombo as the fitness coach. Mike Letty has been our team manager. Letasi Hope, who did a lot of good work as kids manager. So the whole setup of the technical team was perfect. And we were charged with the responsibility of bringing the trophy to Westnile. And all along, right from day one, that was the responsibility that we were taking. And we promised ourselves this will be our year. We worked for it, and eventually we had to lift the trophy and bring it to Westnile. So now it is down to teamwork, of course, player assessment and player selection has been the biggest challenge. We kept on changing players. You find at one moment a different fixture, different players. Another moment you find different players playing. But eventually, because Westnile is gifted by a lot of talents. From Zombo to Ajumani, you can't even finish. But the basic thing was, throughout, we were cooperating, the technical team, the management, and the players. We only had one thing in mind. This should be our trophy. And that's what we worked for. Otherwise, I'm very grateful because winning the trophy was the biggest achievement that Westnile has ever had throughout these decades that we have been in football.
Let's look at this. First coach to bring a very big trophy, I could say, because this is countrywide and of course nationwide. How do you feel bringing such a big trophy? The last time we saw a trophy here was Arua Hill becoming the champions of the Fufa Big League. Now you have added in another big one, which of course is celebrated nationwide.
I think this will have been our second national trophy. I also did win the City Tires Under 14 National Championship sometime back. And that one coincides with the history of the Fufa drum because Nafian
Alionzi Legason right now.
Legason. I must say I was the coach who turned him from a midfielder to a goalkeeper. One time we traveled to Gulu for City Tires Under 14. Both of our goalkeepers were screened off. So we had no goalkeeper. Jaib was playing as a number 6 or 8. He's actually a central midfielder. But because we were affected by the screening of the players, and then we had to take him to the goalkeeping department. Good enough, we were playing against Acholi and we went up to semi-finals. In the semi-finals, we had to go to penalty shootouts and Ajaib saved 3 penalties. From that time, he did not look back. He became a goalkeeper, and I must proudly say, it was my decision to take him to goalkeeping because of the circumstances that we were in, and I'm proud. The penalties Ajaib Nafian saved some 7 or 8 years ago are still, the talent, the intellect is still with him. We were proud that, again, for the national team, he had to do the same. So, the Fufa drum, it's a very big achievement, but we are now looking at other achievements that are coming along with winning the Fufa drum. First of all, Nafian Alionzi is in the national team. Of course, some of the players have been summoned, although dropped on the way, like Ivuni Bright. You will argue with me, we expected Amaku to have been there, plus many other. Okocha Rashid should have been there. Rashid Yakini should have been there. But football is a game of chance. We never won this trophy for many years, okay? But our chance came. So I will also advise these players to be patient. The chances will come. And some of these players now, there are even teams that are tapping players. I must say, the last 2 days, I received calls from Khartoum. El Merreikh of Sudan, they are looking at a striker, and the striker they are looking for is Amaku Fred. The only challenge may be his contract with Maroons FC. But all in all, the Sudan League is better than our league by far. So if Amaku gets a chance to go to Merreikh, who will stop him?
Okay, a very big one. If you look at that, that brings you to how exactly the drama is coming so interesting. And of course, how exactly the players and the relationship, how exactly they are performing comes out right now. Amaku gets to be one name being spotted by, of course, El Merreikh. Who doesn't know El Merreikh? We watched the games here, watched a couple of actions when they were playing in the CAF Champions League, the CAF Championship, the Confederation. You did see that happening right here. But all in all, I want to say still, it is what it takes as a human being to decide for yourself. So in case such a deal comes, of course, we would be expecting a very good one. Let's wait and see what that will be. But all in all, let's come back to Kocha. Now, if you look at the entire Westnile province, it's a hub of talent. We keep saying it every time. You looked at the players. I remember the last time I interviewed you, you said you would go in for your creme de la creme, and exactly you went for that. Did you have challenges in selection of the boys? Because trust me, it is very, very big number of talent, footballers, let's say mostly. Let's do the football part first, that Westnile had. But you chose to pick that. Were you under pressure when you also choosing some? Because there are very many who needed to play.
There is nobody who will have no pressure in managing the game of football. Football is a game of pressure, and football is a game of decisions. And sometimes you make tough decisions, particularly when it comes to player selection, lineup, substitutions. It is always tough. But the basic thing is you must understand your players. If you understand players very well, and then it becomes easier. And also you need players to understand you. You see, most of us coaches suffer because of lack of understanding players or players understanding you. Actually, the game becomes more interesting if both the coach and the players understand each other. You manage players very well. So the basic talent or the basic skill that helps me as a person, then my technical team was our player assessment. How do you pick maybe Saban over Amaku or Amaku over Dada? It's a very big challenge. Many people would say, why are you putting Bida Ezra down and giving him very few minutes? And then you look at Cromwell, Rothomio, you look at Amaku, you look at Rashid Kawawa. Always the choices are tough, but that is what we are being trained for. You must take those decisions. And to me, I must say we are very lucky to have these talents.
Okay, now let's leave that there. Let me get back to the tactical bit of it, and of course the tactical analysis. Very many fans and very many expected a very different, of course, moves, depending on how exactly the players were performing. And there's one player that is Orombi, who has been, of course, a key starter in the West Nile province team. And very many had raised the eyeballs because of that player, saying he's slow, he cools down the tempo of the game, I mean, he slows down the game, and here and there. But you still failed not to play him. He still kept playing most of the games you played, 8 games, I think most of them he played. He was a starter, and of course, you kept winning with that team. What was the hidden agenda behind Rothomio? What exactly was he adding into the team?
If you look at players, actually in our team of Westnile, Rothomio is one pacey winger. I pray hard that Vipers even release him to join Aroa Hills because he will add something. He's pacey, he's very strong, he has an eye for goal, and above all, very disciplined. So these are qualities that you need from a player. I think to me, those are the qualities that always make me choose him ahead of many players.
Looking at him, and of course, there's also Orombi, who is in that midfield, and everybody thought he is slow, very many. But as a coach, you said no, he is the player to, of course, make things work out for you.
You know, players, everybody, God cannot give you everything. Rombi is very good at tracking. He's very good at covering space. Very good at passing. So a lot of qualities. Maybe he could be slow in running, slow in other things, but he's very fast in decision making. The fact is, when we played the finals, we had 3 defensive midfielders, and our idea was let Yakini act as an offensive midfielder. That did not work well. And you know, football is a game of judgment. You may think it is going to work this way, and it fails. But the fact of the matter is, if you fail to make the lineup, you use substitutions to correct it. And exactly, that's what we did.
Oh, brilliant. And we'll be getting a break at exactly 2:30. But of course, still, we have a lot. Around 15 minutes to go again. And see what exactly Coach will have to tell us right there. Very many things that happened into the game. And of course, a lot that people expected, but of course, didn't make it there. Were you anywhere near, when the individual awards came in there, were you anywhere near doubting the awarding of the coach? Because, of course, later on, everyone expected the best coach should be you because of winning the trophy, one. That what sounded big. Obviously, even if it was me, I would give it, leave alone that. But besides that, you looked at the clean sheets you kept. You look at the way you assembled your team. You look at the man of the match awards that have kept moving into your team. Individual performance, Okocha Rashid had like 4 of them in the drum out of the 8 games. That shows you how brilliant he was, and everyone expected the MVP to him. Look at the performance of only conceding 3 goals, and probably didn't count it a loss also to yourself. But let's say you lost 1. If it was only not home and away, you would be unbeaten. Were you anywhere near? Did you doubt all what happened? Or as coaches, you have any other thing? Because I saw you afterwards saying thanks to that is the winning coach.
Yeah, one fact is that Mohamed Zafred, who is currently the assistant coach of URA, was my teammate. And by coincidence, he was voted. And I think that's why he was in Ilira. Maybe he was invited early enough. A decision should have been taken early enough. But Muhumuza, a very good friend, a very good footballer. We played together in St. Leo's College, 99-2000. I was playing number 6, he plays the 8. Actually, our partnership was perfect. A very good friend. I will not envy. And I will not complain about him winning the accolade. For me, the most important thing was winning the trophy for Westnile. My players all receiving gold, and the thank yous that I'm receiving from Westnile are enough accolade to me.
Do you think this can make you take a challenge to coach the national team if chance being given?
Football and sports in general, you need to wait for your time. I have been a head coach at Al Nasir in Sudan. I've been a head coach at Paida Black Angels. I've been a head coach with the Arua Centrals. I have been a head coach interim at Undu Paraka. Now I'm a head coach at Calvary. You never know the next challenge that will come. But for me, patience pays. And I don't want to rush into saying I should have done this, I should have been this.
I'm not doing
all I can say is let me wait for my time. And you never know. But the fact is, this year, I will enroll and do CAF A so that I qualify to coach even outside Uganda.
Okay.
You know, I should have got a job in Tanzania, but CAF has now regulations that for you to coach a club that is outside or a club at CAF level, you must have CAF A at least. Okay. So now I'm told this year by March we're enrolling for CAF A, and that is the challenge that I want to take.
A very big one. Of course, coach puts himself into a challenge to take, and something that we shall be expecting from him and see when exactly he will be making it to the next level. Now, of course, a very, very challenging one.